In overtime, he put him up 6.
Speaking of spectacular,
Michael challenges and slams.
Shot clock.
MJ.
oh, he did it! And Michael shakes the finger.
Jordan past Petrovic.
Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Who's the greatest duo who has never won a ring? John Starks and Patrick Ewing? Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp? Or John Stockton and Karl Malone? Have you ever noticed what's common between these three legendary duos? Yes, one man stopped them from getting one, by the name of Michael Jordan. But how did his airness himself stop these Hall of Fame duos from getting a ring? And who was Jordan's greatest threat? In today's video, we're going back in time, in the 90s, to revisit the dominance of the great one, Michael Jordan. 6 championships, 2 three-peats, and 6 finals MVPs. Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls really did run all over the league in the 1990s. If Jordan didn't retire in 1993, we might have seen 8 straight championships. Well, that's for another video. But in the course of that decade, Jordan and the Bulls trampled a lot of Hall of Famers along the way, including some legendary duos that never had a chance to win a chip because of Mike. And the first duo who fell victim to his airness? The backcourt of Terry Porter and Clyde Drexler. Any 80s and 90s NBA fans out there could remember how nice Terry Porter was back then. He arguably paved the way for those scoring point guards out there. He was a flamethrower. In 1992, he became the greatest second option in the league, not named Scottie Pippen or John Stockton. His bait man? Of course, the one who was always compared to Michael was Clyde the Glide Drexler. In 1992, these two were on a tear, finishing first seed in the West. They were en route to a championship, but standing in their way were Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. The Clyde Drexler-Michael Jordan debate seemed never-ending, and it was all the motivation his airness needed. What did MJ do? Well, this.
Able to convert. Blazers. Michael Jordan makes a foul. Have hit their first 7. Jordan again. And he finally hits. Lamar moves to the fadeaway. 3 to lead. Or 4 in a row. Jordan eluding Robinson. Yes. Lamar match up once again. Here's Jordan to the fadeaway. Jordan for 3. Drexler went for the steal. And a Jordan again, 2. There's Jordan for 3. Yes! Michael Jordan with his first field goal.
Throw line that stops.
Michael Jordan off a set play on the inbound.
MJ averaged 35.8 points in a 53% shooting clip. MJ even outscored this duo in Game 1, scoring 39 points to Drexler and Porter's combined 29. MJ turned down all the comparisons as he outscored Drexler 5 out of the 6 matchups as the Bulls dismantled the Blazers' hope and dreams for a championship. Well, they weren't the only ones. Let's head back to the East, where the Bulls really did their damage. One of the most underrated duos that Michael Jordan dominated is Mark Price and Brad Daugherty of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Once again, to the old basketball heads out there, Mark Price was a point guard way ahead of his time. An absolute flamethrower. A point guard who can shoot the ball and create his own shots. His partner in crime? Brad Daugherty. He was nice. Think of a slightly more athletic Tim Duncan, who's arguably a better shooter and finisher too. Too many injuries derailed him from being one of the best centers, not just in his era, but of all time. Criminally underrated player. But yeah, since 1989, this once-in-a-lifetime Cavs duo was a victim of Michael Jordan's brilliance. It all started with Michael Jordan's The Shot over Craig Elo as the 6-seeded Bulls upset the 3rd-seeded Cavs. Want to guess Jordan's average? 40 points per game. In 1992, 3 years after the upset, the Cavs were a much more solid team. Winning a respectable 57 wins in the regular season was a true threat to Jordan's quest for a back-to-back. The Cavs have a solid chance of stopping Chicago, tying the series at 2 games apiece. But for Michael, it was showtime. In Game 5, Jordan absolutely torched the Cavs, scoring 37 points for a 23-point Chicago win. The Bulls rode the momentum and ended the series at 6. Another Cavs season was ended by Michael.
He gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won.
Next year, the Cavs were the 3rd seed once again, led by Price and Doherty. But yeah, they faced Michael and the Bulls in the 2nd round. This time, it was a sweep. Jordan literally wiped the floor with them as he shredded them to pieces, averaging 31 a game. The Cavs duo never recovered from the beatdown and spent the next few years with several first-round exits until their window ended. Brutal ending for such a talented core. Talking about talent, this next duo has lots of it. The explosive duo of Seattle. The Glove, Gary Payton, and the Rain Man, Shawn Kemp. In the 1990s, these two were special, especially in the 95-96 season, where they absolutely ran over the West, winning 64 games and having the 2nd best defense in the entire league. Well, too bad they faced the greatest team ever assembled, the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. Number 1 offense, defense, and of course, the league MVP, Michael Jordan. After the Sonics swept the defending champion Houston Rockets and dispatched Stockton and Malone's Utah Jazz, they secured a battle against the resurging Michael Jordan and the Bulls. It was not Jordan's best final series of his career by his standards, but he did show Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp who's back and whose league it is.
And that was his first field goal. Sonics lead by 1.
Good thing for Seattle is how many shot attempts they're getting as Jordan is feeling it.
Rebounded by Rodman.
Jordan behind the back to beat Brakowski. Right.
But they haven't been able to capitalize on that, and Gary Payton has struggled offensively.
Early 2nd quarter. And the Bulls lead 27-21.
1 out of 4. Michael told us he's got things he's got to get done. He's ready to take care of business.
And here is Jordan. Back comes Pippen, has a 3-on-2. Jordan on the drive. Yes, and it counts.
Just a day or two's rest.
Now Jordan going against Payton. Goes to the fadeaway. The Sonics 2. The Bulls able to get off to the quick start. Jordan setting up Longley. Yes, able to keep it alive.
In this first half.
Shot clock at 5. Brown for 3. Pippen able to save that backdoor pass. Here is Jordan for 3.
Not being available today, just not the regular rotations to keep Kukoc in the front court.
In this first quarter.
That's a classic example of just what great offense does.
Karl might have made a mistake by not putting the glove on Michael early on. But hey, that's for another video. MJ and the Bulls ran over the Supersonics 4-2. The Sonics never recovered, and it was yet another superstar duo vanquished by his airness. Well, back in the East, where the Bulls did the most damage, there was one legendary duo that should have won a ring. John Starks and Patrick Ewing of the New York Knicks. Sorry for all the solid Knicks fans out there, this would be a pain to revisit. You know how many times Michael Jordan has beaten Ewing and the Knicks in the playoffs? 5. Ewing did not win a single playoff series against MJ. The New York Knicks squad was tough, especially the crowd favorite, the explosive John Starks. He was the perfect sidekick to Ewing. Starks has endless energy and can easily get the crowd going. MJ met this duo first in the 1991 NBA playoffs, where they swept them in the first round. But arguably, the Knicks' best years started in 1992, in John Starks' breakout year. The Knicks were a major underdog against the defending champs, but the Knicks managed to push the series into 7 games, showing a lot of physicality to Jordan and reminding him of those bad boys Pistons days. But Game 7 was just Michael Jordan's playground. In the final game, his agility displayed a masterclass, dropping 42 points. A heartbreak for New York, but the morale was high. They had the potential to dethrone MJ in the East. Next season, they were out there looking like the real contenders, winning 60 games and stealing the first seed from the Bulls. The road was laid. In the 1993 East Finals, these two giants clashed. New York was poised to run over the Bulls, winning the first 2 games. New York fans were going crazy. It's their time. Chicago came out swinging in Game 3, and in the pivotal Game 4, Jordan put in one of his greatest playoff performances, if not the best of his career.
For the first time this afternoon, Jordan, yes! And at a downside when one player is scoring that many points. Jordan again! A three-pointer for Michael Jordan. Grant up front. Jordan looking free. Yes! Make it 31 for Jordan. Michael has been unstoppable here today.
They're going to spread the floor, run the clock down, let Jordan create from the middle.
There's Jordan on the fake. Yes! Michael Jordan with 54.
MJ just exploded for 54 points in Starks and Ewing's faces to tie the series. The momentum clearly swings to Chicago as MJ and the Bulls take the next two games and once again send the Knicks home packing. Another heartbreak. With MJ retiring after the 1993 playoffs, the Knicks had their chances, but it wasn't enough to translate to a chip. In Jordan's comeback in the 1996 playoffs, Starks, Ewing, and the Knicks were just a shadow of themselves as they got absolutely smoked in the second round, 4-1. The Knicks had their chances, but Michael was just a mountain too tall to climb. And lastly, the greatest duo who have never won a ring because of Michael Jordan, arguably still one of the most talented duos of all time, John Stockton and Karl Malone of the Utah Jazz. There's no explanation here. John Stockton, the greatest natural point guard the league has ever seen, and Karl Malone, without considering what he did off the court, is an absolute unit, a monster in the paint. Those pick and rolls were a thing of beauty. A lot of teams tried to stop this dynamic duo but failed. Well, Jordan just did it, and not once, but twice. In the 1996-97 season, the Utah Jazz were just outright unstoppable. Karl Malone was the league MVP. The Jazz had the second best offense in the league, and they were the first seed in the West with 64 wins. A date for the finals was inevitable, and well, there it was. Jordan's next challengers were Stockton, Malone, and the Utah Jazz. It was the battle of the best offenses in the league. Fire versus fire. But it seemed like the Jazz couldn't handle the great one, Michael Jordan. In Game 1, an iconic game winner.
Jordan putting moves on Russell. We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It is all over. The Chicago Bulls have won at the buzzer.
Bucket. The Jazz really put the fight to Chicago, tying the series at 2 games apiece. And in a crucial Game 5, the infamous flu game happened. This is still the craziest final performance the league has ever seen. In Game 6, Jordan just casually dropped 39 out of Chicago's 90 to put an end to Utah's dream season. Next season, there was just that feeling that we were going to see a finals rematch. The Jazz kept their core, ran it back, and used the deep playoff experience to catapult themselves once again into the first seed in the West. With the Chicago Bulls in turmoil with the rumors of Michael Jordan retiring, and could be the last run of Chicago's core, the Utah Jazz now became a favorite to dethrone Chicago and steal that title from Windy City. In the 1998 NBA Finals, these two were booked for a rematch. Many in the media believed that the Jazz had a way higher chance of winning this year, with Chicago in disarray. But then, once again, just like all the other superstars who tried, Michael Jordan was just unstoppable.
It's it just a bit. Beat the Bulls. But again, single coverage by Anderson. Hornacek comes over. Chicago. Jordan into the lane. And he gets the roll. He has 4 spins on Hornacek to the left. And Jerry. Michael baseline fadeaway. High arc, good. Jordan over Russell. Tied at 22 with half a minute to play in the period. Wheels inside around Anderson. And again, it's a 2-point game. Jordan, daylight for 3. 13 for Michael. Michael springs free and takes the lob from Kukoc. Jordan for 3. And there's his answer. Here's Michael. He's got 21.
I'm watching Jordan, and he's inside.
Even more so than usual.
In Game 6, while the Bulls were up 3-2, MJ put up one of the greatest closeout games you'll ever see. And of course, his iconic last shot against Byron Russell.
17 seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Jordan won his 6th championship and finals MVP and put an end to the Utah Jazz's glorious run for a championship and Stockton and Malone's dreams for a title. It's your time to share your thoughts. Who do you think was Jordan's greatest challenge? Who of these duos could have won a chip if MJ wasn't around? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.